I always enjoy going to the bar, sometimes just by myself and sometimes with my best friend Diego. My name is Derek, by the way. And there is one particular bar in my town where I really enjoy. I mean, the staff are just amazing, the drinks are just amazing, and overall, the atmosphere, the whole bar is just great. There are rarely any fights, but if there are any, they're mostly like argues. And the staff and, well, some other customers, well, let's say they are quick to handle any particular arguments. It had been happening a couple of times that the police had to be intervene between any drunk fights or anything, but it really don't happen that often. I actually came across this bar once when I was just walking by on a weekend, and I thought, why not to go there in one evening just to see what it's like? And ever since the first time, I was hooked on the place. Sure, I usually also go to other bars in town, but this particular one is my favorite. And there is only one time when I have been to this bar with my best friend Diego. It was just the most freakiest of all nights. And like I said, I was a frequent customer there, so the staff and some other customers knew me quite well by name and even, well, even I looked like. So I was only like 22 years old when it all happened. So yeah, but basically, at the time I was single. And I had been single since my senior year of high school. Because, well, even though it's not irrelevant, but my ex girlfriend from high school, well, let's say she dumped me because I wasn't planning to go to college and she'd only be with someone who has a better education or something like that. So, sure, I was heartbroken, but my best friend Diego, someone I have known for many, many years, he was there to cheer me up. He was like my rock. He was my best buddy ever to go to. And and on this particular night, this was actually on a weekend. So me and Diego had made plans already in the beginning of the week to just go to the bar, just to hang out, have some beers, just to relax and talk about what happened in the week and talk about what's going to happen in the future, what our dreams are looking like. So we usually either sit by a table or sometimes even at the bar counter just to hang out, even talk to the staff, depending on how much customers they have. And this bar itself is not like an unknown bar. It has a quite decent customers like locals, tourists, and all that. But this time, it was just me and my best friend Diego. Sure, it happened that we also invited some other friends with us, but this time it's just two of us. We actually sat by the counter and we were just waiting for a table to be open so that we can take it. There were only a few tables at the bar, and all of them were taken at the time, but the bar counter was at least half full. So we ordered a beer, sat down, small talked about what we have been up to this week, and shortly, about maybe half an hour later, one table became available. So we took the chance to sit down, and we continued our conversation as before, but suddenly this young lady, she was probably like the same age as me, which I later find out was the case. She was 22 years old, and her name was Gloria. And I don't mean to say this, but she was gorgeous. I mean, she was brunette, brown eyes. She has had amazing figure. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a jerk or anything to girls like that or anything. I mean, she was beautiful. She was like an angel. And she asked if she could sit down with us, and since now the bar counter was also being full, and we did have had space for at least two more people. So both me and Diego was like, yeah, why not? So she sat down next to me, and she introduced herself as Gloria, and her name was and that she was 22 years old. We did the same thing, and she was surprised that we were at the same age and we were local. So she'd even ask how if this is our first time being here, but both me and Diego laughed and said, no, this is our actually, I don't even remember what the answer were, but I told her we have been here for at least well, for maybe a part of a year or so. She was actually happy to hear that. It's about the same thing. So we start talking, and just before, I think around close to 11 p.m., it was time for me and Diego to leave since we have sadly some work the next day, even though this was on a weekend. But sometimes we had to go do some work at home. But before I left, Gloria asked for my number. And even though I wasn't intentionally doing that to get a hookup or something like that, since I have been single for a while and I actually got used to be single. But Diego, he nudged my arm and said, hey, dude, she's interested. Why not just take a chance to see her sometime at a time? Even though I was still a bit hesitating, but I thought he was right. I have been single for a while, but I didn't have to, I mean, I wouldn't be mind to do some casual dating from time to time, just to at least update my dating scale, something like that. So I said yes. So we texted each other that evening and just having a good time. And for the next few days, we texted each other. There was just more like good morning, good night, or how your day been and in between. They were just like maybe just a few times in a day. But after about 2 weeks, that increased quite frequent more often. Like sometimes she didn't text me not only 3 times in a day or a handful of times, but now almost every hour. I was getting a little bit surprised of how she was even texting me so much, and even during the week. So she asked me one time, I think it was on a Thursday evening, if I was going out the next Friday, the next day, to the bar or something like that. I told her I wasn't sure yet, since I wasn't sure if me and Diego was gonna go with that. But then she asked if I would go with her as a date to the bar. I mean, I asked her like a serious dating or just casual dating. I told her I wasn't looking for any particular serious anything like that. She was okay with it. So we did, and we actually did end up dating for like more casual dating from time to time. That we had time for that, of course. But it didn't even stop there though. Even though I didn't have any feelings for her at all, but it was clear she started to have feelings for me. And even though she at one point confessed her feelings for me, I told her I was flattered, but like I said before, I wasn't looking for any particular serious relationship. And somehow it somehow changed in her behavior. And that small change was at first an increase of her text messages on her phone. Sometimes she texted me almost twice, like in every hour. And I was at work, and if I don't text her back almost immediately or in a little bit the next 5 minutes, she would text me again and again. I told her that I'm at work and may not be able to text her or even reply her so fast as that she wanted. At first, she was okay with it, but as that continued, she started getting a bit angry that I was ignoring her. And eventually, next time I told her, that was in face to face, I told her firmly but calmly, listen, Gloria, as I told you before, I'm not interested in a long-term relationship right now. I'm okay if it's only casual dating, but you had to expect me. I can't be able to reply every single message that you send me, even if I had only 5 minutes. Especially if I'm at work or am I driving. You know the dangerous it is to have to be driving and texting at the same time. She nods and said she understood. So I will encourage you to at least give me some time. Don't be so frequent. I understand if you like me, but just don't take it so far. She understood, as she said. And so for the next few days, it seems that was going like that. She only texted me a few times, and she did text me at work during a lunch, like lunch break or anything like that, but it only lasted for just a few days. After about a week later, she was back to her old self. I was getting frustrated and even ignored. I was getting very much annoyed about this. I even vented this to Diego when it's just me and him at his place over just some drinks. Dude, what? She isn't even dead? Yeah. I even showed him my phone and some of the text messages, and at that same moment, she did send me a text message, and I told her, let's see if we're waiting 5 minutes if I don't reply. And sure enough, after 5 minutes, she texts me, why don't why didn't you just ignore me? And then after that, just less than 2 minutes later, please answer. I'm getting worried. Where are you? Then I texted her, I'm with my friend Diego, the one that you had met before. I'm at his place, having some drinks, that's all. So I would appreciate if you maybe give me some time so I can spend time with my best friend. So it happened, but it didn't even stop there. Only about a week after that, Diego saw that Gloria was actually outside my workplace. He was actually on a break at the time, since we actually worked kind of close to each other. So he actually saw that he was almost like across the street on a bench, texting, trying to call me, and he started getting a bit worried. And even that moment, he actually, even after she left, he called me. I was like, Derek, Diego? Yeah. Can I talk to you for a moment? Yeah, what is it? Have you received any text from Gloria recently? Like 5 minutes ago or something? Yeah. Why? Well, don't freak out, but she was actually outside your workplace, just across the street, at the park. Are you kidding me? No? Wait, how did you even know? Well, I'm actually on a break and passing by, or at least saw her sitting there. She didn't see me though. And he did show me a photo of her. It was clearly her, and now I was very much frustrated. She didn't trust me on my boundaries. So I told her I didn't want to talk to her anymore because now she had crossed the line because constant messages is interrupting my work schedule. And I really, if I'm out just myself or even with Diego, she had to bother me with text or calls. I just getting frustrated with that. So I told her over the phone, please, Gloria, just lose my number. I'm not going to even be interested in you anymore. I don't want to talk to you anymore because you're getting so. You, well, you really. I couldn't even get the word out. She was silent her the whole time. I mean, I was like, you're really suffocating me. You barely. I can't barely have any time for myself. You text me every single 5 minutes. And even at work. You have any idea how much that even cost me? I could even get fired if it happens. I mean, my own boss was frustrated that I was on my phone so often. I told him what's been going on, and he told me just tell you to please only call or text during my lunch break or if I'm out of work, not do so much as that. Even though she said she understood and she said, but sorry, it doesn't even matter anymore because I don't want to see you anymore. We were even a couple. So after that, I just hung up the call and blocked her number, and I thought that was it. I didn't even have to worry about her anymore. But for my naive mind was at the time, it was even like just a couple of days after that happened. I mean, only for a couple of days I was like, freedom once again. But it was only short lived. One evening, I received a text message with a photo included, where the caption said, You were seeing this girl when you were seeing me, didn't you? I knew exactly who it was from. Gloria. But I didn't reply. Instead, I just blocked the number immediately. The girl in the photo was actually an old classmate from high school. Her name is Kelly. We have just recently reconnected once again because Kelly moved away when we were still in high school to a different town due to her parents' work or something like that. And it was just recently when she moved back, when we were once again reconnected. And we actually met up that day after the photo was shown, us walking together. We were just out for some coffee to once again to catch up what we have been up to lately. In fact, isn't even though I did had a crush on Kelly even back in high school, but since I hadn't even seen her since even before senior year of high school, I thought maybe I would never get the chance to even to reach out to her, or even talk to her, or even see her again. But it didn't happen. But now, Gloria was furious in a belief I was cheating on her with someone else. To in her side, in my defense, I wasn't even dating her. Me and Gloria wasn't even official. She knew that. I told her when she confessed her feelings to me, I appreciate it, but I wasn't even interested in her at all. And she said that she understood. But in overall, Gloria was once again back in my life apparently, because ever since then I received more text from other multiple numbers which I always blocked. And even of all people, Diego had also received texts from her on Facebook and Instagram or something, telling him that I was cheating on her with Kelly, which Diego knew was a fake lie. He even told Gloria at least once that neither me or Gloria was never even an official statement as a status of relationship. We only went on casual dating. But ever since I blocked every number, it stopped. But then I started seeing her almost everywhere I was in town. Like at my workplace, or at the bar, or at the mall. You name it. Almost anywhere. She was stalking me. And I was getting frustrated and annoyed and tired of all this. On top of that, somehow, Gloria had figured out where Kelly's name were, like full name, where she lives, and what she worked. She started causing problems for Kelly as well. Like ordering mails to her like package or delivering package without no return sent address on it. I was I was getting frustrated. Gloria was causing the problem not only for me, which I was fine with, but if she started causing problem for like Diego, my best friend, and Kelly, so when I started reconnecting once again, and also started to have feelings again for her, I had enough. Luckily though, since Gloria delivered those packages to her directly in person, and Kelly, which has security camera by her front door, had it several times recorded. So we decided to at least report to police. And even when we told her, I told Gloria in one text that if you don't stop, we will report you to police for your stalking and harassment. But Gloria, she told me in the back to me that I'm bluffing. I don't have no evidence whatsoever, and they can't even prove that she was the cause of this. Well, I didn't show her any evidence, because if I did, she would just flee or something. So, we, me and Kelly, we went together to the police station, presented all the evidence that we have, the photos, the recordings, and all that, and it was plenty enough for her to get a restraining order from me, Kelly, as well. And, well, she was served. Gloria was, well, silent. But I only heard from a mutual friend that Gloria decided to leave town because she didn't even have the heart to walk around where she could see me and and had to stay away from the one she loved the most. Well, that's crazy if you ask me. But then one day as Gloria appeared in my life, she was out of it and I never saw her again. Shortly after all this stalking incident ended, I actually took Kelly to the bar, to my favorite bar of all places. And, well, I just said that why not we just go to the bar, talk about old times? And well, it did. But eventually I mustered up enough courage and I confessed. I told her that I did like her back in high school, but since I had a girlfriend already, well, I couldn't even do anything much about it. But now I was single, and I didn't want to confess to her during the time a Gloria incident happened. I mean, I didn't want to have any more trauma or drama to her life as well. And to my amazement, Kelly told me that she had liked me even back in high school as well. She was sad that she had to move, but now we were reconnected and now we are officially dating. Diego, when I told him, he was like, "Wow, dude, really? Took long enough." Hey, I mean, I don't blame my best friend for that type of reaction, but he's happy for me though, at least, since Kelly is my first girlfriend ever since the senior year of high school. And for this, I'm happy. But for Gloria, I really hope that you stay away, far away from me, Kelly, Diego, and everyone I know. Thank you.